Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how I made this tube top with halter neckline using not up to 1 yard. You can actually make this as 2-piece, but I'll be using my leftover fabric to make mine. It's easy to make and it looks like the final result. So I have my leftover fabric here, not up to 1 yard. I'll also get my leftover lining. 1 yard of lining should be okay, or you can get 1 yard to be on the safer side. Now I'm bringing my zipper and other necessary materials. Hi guys, my name is Fatima A. Yusuf, and on this platform I share sewing tutorials. If it's something you like to learn, let's get straight to it. Don't forget to subscribe. So I have my fabric here, and these are the measurements you'll be needing: your bust, your under bust, your waist, your hip, and then the top length, and you are good to go. So this is my fabric. I'll just go ahead and measure it to show you guys. So it wasn't up to 36 inches, it was 33 inches, as you can see. 33.5, sorry. 33.5 inches. So that's what I'm going to be using to make the top, and I had like few pieces left, so 1 yard should be okay, or 1.1 to 1.5 yard, depends on your body size. So I'm just going to split it into two after folding by the width, right? And I'm going to make sure after folding this each pieces I'll get my hip divided by 4 plus additional 5 inches for the additional 4 to 5 inches for the front piece. This is the front piece. So my hip divided by 4 is 10.5, 11. So after folding I should be getting 14.5, 15 inches. So after folding here I got 14.5. I'm good to go. We'll be using the other parts, the excess left, for the rope at the neck area or the band. Now it's a tube top, so basically you can't start from your shoulder. You measure where you want your tube top to start from. I'll be using 6.5. I'll have used 7, but I felt like it was going to be too down. But if you want it down, you can use 7, but I use 6.5 for mine, so that after stitching my line into it, I'll be having 6 inches. So you can use 6, 7. I won't see people using 8, but I feel like 8 will be too down. So 7, 6, 7 should be the option, please. I'll be marking 6.5 for mine, so that will be off because it's a tube top, so you're not starting from shoulder. So now from that 6.5 I went down to 10 inches for my bust point or your bust line. Then I'll go down to 13 inches. That will be my under bust line. After my under bust line, I'll go down to my waistline, 16 inches. This waistline is your half length. That's the waistline. Then I'll go down to 24 inches for my hip. Sorry, my light went off. Then I'll just extend all those lines. So I've extended all those lines. I'll now divide my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 by 2. I got 4. On all those lines, starting from the beginning of the fabric, I'm going to mark that 4 inches. From the beginning to the bust line, to the under bust, to the waistline, to my top length, plus the allowance I added, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go for 4 inches, and I'll use a straight line to just join those points. For my top length, I used 25. That's the last line you see there. Then I added 0.5 inch for sewing. So that's 25.5 inches. That's my top length. Yours might be longer, yours might be shorter. Depends on how long or short you want yours to be. So I've marked that straight line, right? Then on the bust line, I'm going to be marking 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right. I'll now come down to my top length. I'm going to go up by 2 inches, and I'll use my ruler to join to meet that 1 inch to come and meet that 2 inch, a slant line. That 1 inch will meet that 2 inches, sorry, like this, both side, right? Good. Then from the bust I went down by 1 inch, but later on I didn't use the 1 inch. I'll just make sure that my 1 inch at the under bust will meet the point on my bust line. Like I said, this 1 inch I later didn't use it, so please, you don't need to mark it. On the borderline, let's call it borderline now, I'm going to mark half inch to the left, to the right, 0.5 inch to the left, 0.5 inch to the right. So that will come and meet the bust point. So this was me when I was just taking it to meet the bust point. That's deleting the 1 inch. So now the 0.5 inch will meet the bust point, the 0.5 inch with a slant line like this, right? Good. So now I'll just go ahead and impute my body measurement. At the borderline, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4, and I'm going to mark anything I got there. So I had 9.5 inches. Yours might not be 9.5 inches, please. So I'll just go ahead and mark that 9.5 inches. Then my dart measurement is 1 inch, right? So I'm just going to add 2 inches to it. So I'm marking 3 inches allowance. I also took same thing to the bust line since it's our bust measurement. So I'll be using 3 inches allowance, but you can use two, depends on you, but I prefer having more allowance than having small. On the bust line, I did same thing. I added 3 inches to my bust measurement, divide by 4. Then now on the under bust, I'm going to impute my waist measurement divided by 4. You can use your under bust measurement divided by 4 in this case. Then you know the dart that will be removing will be 2 inches, so I added 2 more inches, so I used 4. At the waistline, I imputed my waist divided by 4, and I'll be adding my allowance also. So when I measured this one should be 1.5, right, plus 2, that's 3.5 inches allowance, but I just added half, so I used 4. After doing that, right, I'll just use my ruler to join the points together. Any shape you get to join it together. Like I said, you can use few allowance. I added 2 to mine. You can add 1 or 1.5, but I prefer having plenty allowance than having few or small. Now on that my top length, I'm going to impute my hip divided by 4. I had 10.5. I'm going to mark it. So on that hip line, basically the allowance you'll be needing for the dart should be 0.5 because you're just cutting straight. There's nothing there. I used 1 inch instead of 0.5, so I'll be using 1 plus 2. That's 3 inches allowance on my hip line. That's what I'll just do there. I'll mark 3 inches and I'll join it to meet the point on my waistline. A slant line will meet, and then you make sure the angle there is curvy, not pointed, right? So we're done drafting the front piece for the tube top. That's how you draft it. Then at the hip line, I went up by 2, but I would advise you go up by 3 or 4 because the curve shape didn't really come out on mine the way I wanted it to. So you can go up by 3, 4, or close to 5. I think 4 should be okay. You go up by 4 so that side can be curvy. And we are done drafting here. So where I'm crossing is where we are cutting out basically for the dart. I'll go ahead and just cut out my piece. Oh, I'm done cutting out the front pieces. This is how they look like, right? Good. So I'll keep that one side, and then I'll be drafting and cutting the back piece for the tube top. I already folded the back piece. I've marked my 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. I've marked my bust line, my under bust line, my waist, and my full length of top. Same way I did, starting from 6.5 inches, right? Good. And inward, I've already marked my nipple to nipple measure divide by 4, divide by 2, sorry, not 4. That's 4 inches for all the lines, right? So I've done all that. Now the thing I will be doing next is on my waistline, I'm going to mark 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right on that 4 inches, right, on that straight line. 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right. Then at my top length, like I did for the front piece, I'm going to go up by 2 inches, right? And I'll make sure that 1 inch meets that 2 inches using a slant line, both left and right, right? So after doing that, I'll make sure that 1 inch on the waistline is going to meet the point at the border line. So you take a slant line to meet the border line, left and right. Right, so that's what I will do. Basically, that's the dart will be removing on the back piece, not like the one we did at the front piece, right? So after doing this, I'll just go ahead and impute my body measurement the same way we did for the back piece. I'll be imputing my bust divide by 4 at the borderline, 9.5, and here that allowance is actually 0.5 inch because it's just straight. There's no much removing of that. I'll go ahead and impute 3 inches like I did for my front piece. I'm going to do same thing at the bust line. My bust divide by 4 gave me 9.5, and I'm going to be adding 3 inches allowance. Like I said, your own allowance can be 2.5 or 2 inches, depends on what you want. Just do your calculation right. It's better for it to be too much than for it to be too small at the end. On my under bust, I'm going to impute my waistline, my waist divide by 4. Like I said, you can use your under bust divide by 4, and then I'll be adding my allowance to it. I use 3 inches also, right? So on my waistline, I'll still do same thing. My waist measurement divide by 4, 7.5 inches, and I'll just go ahead and add my allowance. The dart allowance is 1.5, is 2 inches, sorry, since we took 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right, so that's 2 inches right on the waistline. I'll just go ahead and add my allowance. That was just me cross-checking to know where how much allowance I will add, and then I felt like the measurement I took wasn't complete, so I had to like complete it. So my waist divided by 4, and then I added 3 inches allowance, right? Then on my gown length, or my full gown length, top length, sorry, why am I saying gown? My hip divided by 4, then I added my 3 inches allowance, and I'll just join those points together. We are done drafting the back piece, right? And I'll just go ahead and cut out my piece, and you can see I had excess for both back and front. So that excess for both back and front is what I'll be using for my strap for the neckline later on, or rope. Do you guys get it? I'm done drafting here. This is how it looks. Don't mind the shape. After that, I'll just go ahead and cut out my piece, and I also went up by 2. I said in part in the drafting of the front piece, please use 3-4 inches if you want that edge to be curvy. So I'm done drafting. I'll go to the zip allowance, the zipper allowance on the waistline. Since I have 1.5, I'm going to mark 1 inch for the zipper around that waistline. I'll just use a slant line. I'm going to take it to meet the down part, and then to meet the upper part a slant line, so you can remove zipper bulging, please. So that's what I will do, and after doing that, I'm done drafting. This is how the drafting looks like. The next thing is just to cut out my piece. So after cutting, these are the back pieces, right? We have cutted the front piece also. Now this is the end of part 1. I'll see you guys in part 2. People know that I don't like making my videos too long, so that it's not be boring. Don't forget to like, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in part 2. Bye guys.